Marshall, why are you dressed like a baby? What's going on? I'm trying to do a tour. There's a lot of jock-oriented areas on my island, which I'm now realizing, like, Genji really lucked out. And honestly, I don't know if he deserves it. Maddie's like my sister, okay? Maddie's my sister, and Butch is my dad, and this is my Animal Crossing family, and you're gonna be nice to my family. Hey besties, it's Nat, back again with another video, a highly anticipated video, a video that is literally 3.5 years in the making. That's right, besties. Today, we are finally touring my completed New England themed town core island of Nautilus. I am so excited to share this with y'all. This really truly has been a labor of love over the past 3.5 years for me, and then also maybe how many years have I been on YouTube? I don't even remember, to be honest, but I'm so excited to share a final version of Nautilus with everyone. You can come tour my dream address, you can come see the island, see all of my villagers, and today we're just gonna have a relaxing 6 a.m. stroll around the island together. Before we get started, let's take care of a little bit of housekeeping. First order of housekeeping business. If you're new to the channel, first of all, welcome bestie. I'm very pleased to have you here. Like I said in the intro, I have been working on this island for several years now and have been documenting most of it. So pretty much all of the builds that you're gonna see today on the island have a speed build or associated video with them, and I'm gonna link a playlist in the description of all of them. So if you like anything that you see and you wanna see how I did it, or you just wanna see a closer look at it, feel free to check those videos out. They'll be there waiting for you. I also have a second island that I'm working on right now with a completely different theme, and we are currently in the process of villager hunting, and we're going to start building on that island soon. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more from me, feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell and set it to all so you get notified every time that I post or go live. We're probably going to do another villager hunt on that island very soon, so make sure to be on the lookout for that. Second order of business that I want to get into, I was looking forever to find a foggy September morning, and I could not find one without any rain, and that is problematic because my island is incredibly laggy, as you'll see in a moment. I was not about to subject y'all in the dream address to a rainy, laggy island. That's terrible. So if you see a change in the dream address in between when this video is uploaded and whenever you're touring it, whether that's the day that this video goes up or in the far future, hello future besties, that is why I just wanted to get the right weather for y'all. I wanted to have that New England island atmosphere, you know? Third order of business, custom designs. There are a lot of gorgeous and stunning custom designs that I used on this island, and I will at some point have a completed list of them in the description of this video and on my Discord as well. I'm working on compiling that right now. If you're watching this video as soon as it goes up, that list might not be updated, but I am going to make sure that list eventually gets put in the description for y'all. And if there is a code that you're looking for, chances are it's in the description of one of those other videos that I mentioned in that playlist earlier on. So feel free to check those out if you're looking for that information. Oh my god, Genji is going crazy back there. But final order of business before we begin. I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you for all of your support over the past couple of months, over the past couple of years. I am so grateful for every single one of you, and I'm so happy to share this island with you as a gift from me. Hopefully, this island brings you some joy, makes you smile, makes you feel nostalgic. I don't know, whatever it makes you feel. If you enjoy my villagers' drama, all of that. I'm just so thankful for y'all, and this is my gift to you. So speaking of gifts, I think it's about time that we begin the tour. Now, I think it's only appropriate that we start this tour with the map. Here is the gorgeous and stunning map of Nautilus. My dream address is down below if you would like to tour along with me. If y'all come visit Nautilus and you take pictures or videos, I would absolutely love to see those. So please feel free to tag me on Instagram, post them on my Discord. Those are both linked in the description as well. I would absolutely love to see y'all exploring this island. But here is the map. As you can see, we are right by the airport and resident services. Back in the day, on day one when this game came out, I had a vision in my mind for my island, and it involved resident services and the airport being very close, which I now understand was a mistake. But at the same time, I'm too attached to this island to reset, so you know, there we are. But besides that, I am really in love with this map and this island and these villagers. So let's take a peek. Over here on the right side of the island, we have my player character's house, and then on the left side of the island, we have all of my villager houses. So in the first neighborhood down by the airport, we have Coco, Genji, Kiki, and Marshall. They all live in a neighborhood together. Then right above them, above resident services, we have Maddie and Bob, they're neighbors with each other. Then a little over to the right, we have my old people neighborhood, which has butch, fuchsia, and pecan. And then last but not least, all by himself up by the lake, is Beau. So those are my villagers. I'm very attached to them and they have a lot of drama. And also, all of their houses are decorated. So if you explore the Dream of Nautilus, I would absolutely love if you went inside my villagers' houses and had a look around. I think my favorite house might be Coco's house, but that's just because I think that's the house that I might want to live in the most. That or Pecan's house. But I really do love all of them, and a lot of them own businesses. So for example, Kiki owns a seafood restaurant, Maddie owns an ice cream shop, Bob owns a gas station and convenience store, Fuchsia owns a flower shop. So they all have like little lore attached to them. So feel free to check that out. I'm not sure how many of those villager houses we're going to be able to see today, but definitely, absolutely, if you tour Nautilus, give a knock on a villager's door and see what their house is like. Or, you know, feel free to check out one of the speed builds that I did. Once again, linked below. See, I'm really good at this whole YouTuber business. One thing that you may have noticed on my map was this road that stretches all across the bottom half of my island. This is like my coastal road that drives by the ocean, and that was like a very strong vision that I had in my head for my island that I really wanted to have, and I'm so happy with how it came out. This is a round where you'll wake up in the Dream of Nautilus. As you can see, we are right next to resident services, and I've left some gifts for all of you. And I just want to make one thing very clear. Marshall, why are you dressed like a baby? What's going on? I'm trying to do a tour. Besties, I may or may not have mentioned that I had technical difficulties while I was trying to record this tour initially, and I'm so upset that I lost that original version of the video because there was so much drama that happened. Like, Marshall literally had fleas right in front of Genji. Good morning, boys. These two, Marshall, are you serious? Marshall. Are you kidding me? You cannot have fleas when I'm doing my island tour. Of course it's him. Of course it's him. Flea-ridden rat in the middle of my tour, which is so rude, but anyways, he's distracting me. Back to what I was saying. Obviously, this area right here, right in front of my resident services, is about where you'll spawn in the dream address. So if you just come around here after you wake up from your dream, you can collect these beautiful gifts that I've left for all of you. And I just want to make one thing very clear, besties. You have to wear the entire outfit, and that includes the socks with the shoes, okay? I don't want to see no bare feet running on my island, okay? You have to wear both. That's the rule. But besides that, these gifts are for you, and I hope that you enjoy them. But this is my ferry terminal build. So as I mentioned, this is a New England themed town core island. It is based off of an island off the coast of Maine where I grew up. And this is based off of the real life ferry terminal that is right next to my house. I am a bit of a fake fan of my hometown though, because I've never been on the ferry. I don't think I have. I don't remember. But I've been to the ferry terminal a lot. And it's literally just like this. Like, it's just a fence and a parking lot and some vending machines. I have used the vending machines before. And yeah, this build is very nostalgic for me. But if we come up here, up the coast road, this whole road area, you probably saw it on the map when I was on the map screen. I really wanted to have like a long road that just led all the way across the bottom half of my island so you could see the ocean. That was really important to me. But if we come up behind here to resident services, where you will wake up, where Genji is working on his gains over there in the corner. This is the parking lot for the ferry and also for the Main Street area, including the grocery store, which is why there are little carts over here. Once they added the car objects in the 2.0 update, it was over for me. Like, I knew I had to have a parking lot on my island, and I felt like resident services was the perfect place because I just needed something to put in between that would fit in this tiny space, that would make sense, and also that wouldn't like cover up my resident services, you know, because I really enjoy playing on this island, and that includes like festivals and hanging out with my villagers. So I needed to be able to see what was going on in resident services, and I feel like this is a really simple but elegant solution to that problem. We're just gonna come down here really quickly back to the coast road. The first house that you're gonna see, which Marshall is lurking outside of, they had a little bit of drama, honestly, when I started recording this session too. Which I'll share with you all in a minute, but this is Coco's house, the first house on the island. Her yard is very small, so I had very little to work with, but I think I did an okay job. I think that the wheat fields, I mean, I have a problem with the wheat fields, which you'll see throughout the tour, but I think the wheat fields look really cute. I like the overgrown look. And she is a ceramicist. She's a potter. and her house is a pottery studio, and it is very slayful, if I do say so myself. And Marshall, what do you want? Will you listen to the plea of a tortured soul? What, Marshall? I'm probably being melodramatic, but I got into a prank war with Kiki a while back. What did you do? I'm not sure who won the war, but I've been feeling bad about some of the things I did. Marshall, I can't stand this man. I really can't. I even got her a present, but I'm too shy to deliver it. Any chance you could help me out? Fine. I'll give it to her. Okay, well, at least you're being nice to someone who lives in this neighborhood, because you've been struggling with that. But yeah, Coco lives directly next to the museum. I sort of organized the neighborhoods based off of my villagers' interests. So Kiki and Coco, obviously as normies, are big nerds, and so I thought that the museum would be an appropriate spot for them. This is my museum. Once again, we just have like a little overgrown yard. I really needed to have this fossil. This is a nautilus, and it's very important that I have this in front of my museum on my island. But we also have like a little exhibition sign, a little umbrella stand, a bench. I love all of these like town core, city core objects they added. I'm obsessed with them, and they're everywhere on this island. If we come up here, oh my god, she's home. We can give Kiki her gift and check out her house. This is Kiki's house. She owns a seafood restaurant. It was actually her request in Happy Home Paradise, and I didn't get to make that for her because I made her a Kiki's Delivery Service themed house instead. So this is sort of like paying her back a little bit. But yeah, this is the outside, and let's check out the inside really quickly. Oh, I love it in here. Last time I came in here, she was cooking and she had removed this entire corner, so I'm glad that she's not doing that anymore. All right, Kiki. What could it be? I'm actually curious what Marshall gave her. Marshall always starting something. This is from Marshall? What could this be? Go ahead and open it. Yeah. A cycling shirt. Try it on? I know it's gonna look ugly on her. I shouldn't have said that. Oh, Kiki, you're not a jock, bestie. Oh, I don't want to say something mean to her. Look at her. She's so cute. Oh, fine, I'll say it looks good on her. I am such a terrible person. He put a lot of care into this, so he really must want us to patch things up. I feel bad about our argument too. Maybe if he sees me wearing this, he'll know that we're both sorry. Thank you for delivering this, pumpkin. I feel like my weight's been lifted off my shoulders. Kiki, you are too nice to be hanging out with Marshall. What business do you have hanging out with that man? What is he doing for you? You need to stay away from the drama. This whole neighborhood is an epicenter for drama, and Kiki has no part in it, and she should continue to stay that way. This is her house. Like I said before, it is based off of seafood restaurants that I've been to growing up, and I am obsessed with it. It is one of the most on-theme houses on my island, so I'm glad that I was able to show it to you. But, you know, it's just got the beautiful ocean view out there with the glow-in-the-dark stickers. We have little tables to sit at. It's really cozy and kind of cramped, but in a good way. I love the ocean sound effects and the music and all of the little clutter items and the cobwebs in the corner. This place is so nostalgic for me. Like, I feel like I can smell what this place smells like through the screen. But yeah, the place where I grew up, there's a lot of lobster fishing in Maine. I actually don't think that I put a lobster. I think I only put this crab, which I apologize for that, Kiki. I really should have put a lobster if I was being authentic. But yeah, there's a lot of fishing and seafood in Maine, and so I feel like this was really necessary for my island, and I feel like it turned out really fantastic. One of my favorite builds that I've ever done. And Kiki, you are in the way, so if she'll just let me go, then I'll be on my way out. So glad I was able to show that to y'all. Oh my god. But yeah, that's the inside of Kiki's seafood restaurant. Here's her little like shipping area where she's shipping out what she catches, because she's also a fisherwoman. She has a boat back here. She has fishing rods. Oh, and there's a little gift here for all of you. Besides the gifts that I left at the entrance of the island, I also left some little gifts all around the island that you'll be able to spot pretty easily, like this firework that I left next to the lighthouse right here. I also left a wetsuit so you can go swimming if you want, but you don't need a wetsuit or anything like that to traverse the island. You can just traverse it on foot. But here we have my first beach that you'll see on the island. Of course, doing a New England themed beachy island, the beaches are a very important part of that. So I paid really close attention when I was decorating them, and I had a lot of fun. This beach is one of my favorites. I think this might be my favorite. I don't know. It's a tie between this and maybe the one on the top left of my island. I don't know. It's really hard, but I absolutely adore this beach. This is meant to be like the public beach on the island where people like come to hang out, and you see a lot of tourists and locals too, which is why there's like these big umbrella chairs. There's also like a little hand washing station, get the sand off your hands and feet. And it's probably the most cluttered beach on my island. Luckily, because I'm walking so slowly, you didn't have like the huge lag when walking past Kiki's house, but this area lags a lot. So if you're on your own little tour of the island, you might see some of that. But if we come back this way, we can go through this adorable little alleyway in between the museum and Coco's house and come up here. There's also lots of like cicadas and crickets hidden around making noise. I love adding sounds to my island. It's one of my favorite things, my favorite little details that you can add in this game. Here we have the second half of this villager neighborhood, which is Genji and Marshall's half. This, as you can see, is Genji's yard, which of course Marshall is lurking outside of. I really wanted the villagers' houses to match their personalities, and so I had to give Genji like a little workout yard in front of his house. I really love the aesthetic of this yard. There's just something about it. I don't know. Like, I love how it's like a little bit grimy, but it still fits in with the aesthetic of the rest of the neighborhood really well. Like, it doesn't seem out of place. I really enjoy that. He's got his little music going. He's got his basketball. I honestly almost never see him working out here though, which makes me kind of sad, but that's whatever. That's Genji. But if you go a little bit to the left over here, through this little hole in the fence or on the road, whichever your choice, we'll get to Marshall's yard. My idea for Marshall was that he is sort of like a trust fund baby whose parents pay for him to live in this like seaside cottage by the ocean, like a Hamptons type beat. And he's writing his novel, so that's why he has his laptop out here. He's writing his screenplay. You know, he's a very busy man. But I thought it would be nice for Marshall to have a little seaside property, and he has kind of a big yard. I really love how there's just like grass here, and then like all of the blue, which really matches his aesthetic. These blue hyacinths everywhere. The hyacinths on my island are meant to represent lupins, which are actually purple and pink, not purple and blue. They're also an invasive species, fun fact. They're not native to Maine, even though they're really synonymous with Maine. But I wanted them to be blue because I like the blue better. So yeah, that's why that's why there's hyacinths all over my island. This is Marshall's little private beach area because of course he has a private beach. Like, are you kidding me? And then there's also more beach area directly above Marshall's house, but we are going to explore that a little bit later. Right now, we are going to head this way up past resident services. Here we have a little car here. Maybe this is Coco's car. I don't know. But if we head up this way, behind resident services, we will get to the next neighborhood. And this is sort of like the cutesy neighborhood. I don't really know if that's accurate, but this is where we have the playground. I absolutely love this build. We have a little soccer field here. And then up here, we have this playground with all of this overgrown grass and all of the chalk on the ground. This build is just it makes me feel so nostalgic and cozy. I actually named the speed build of this area like Nostalgic Playground or something like that. And I did edit it a little bit in a different build, but either way, I think it still fits the vibe perfectly. Oh my gosh. Look who's home. All right, we have to go in here. Across the street from the playground is Maddie's ice cream parlor. Oh my god, yes, I'm so glad that she's in here. Hey Maddie, what's up? No way, I was totally just thinking I wish I could talk to Muffin right now. Chat with me. I'm on a mission today. This gal isn't stopping until she's taken a choice selfie with every Nook phone filter. For example, Peep the soft filter. So sweet, so chic, so fashionably fuzzy and fluffy, don't you think? Yup, this filter makes me look Trey innocent. It fools him every time. You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, you get it. Filters are a trendsetter's best accomplice. Oh my god, Maddie. Well, welcome to Maddie's ice cream shop. We have another girl boss here, another business owner, a small business owner. This build is also very heavily inspired by the area I grew up in Maine. It's a very touristy area, and there are a lot of ice cream shops all over the place, and a lot of them are really delicious. This is actually very similar to one that was owned by a family friend, and that I went to a lot when I was a little kid. But it's definitely way more like pink and girly to match Maddie's aesthetic. I really wanted her house, like the other villager houses, to match her vibe, and I think that I achieved that with this. We have a little bit of Sanrio furniture in here. We have lots of pink and yellow and pastels, but it's still a little bit old, a little bit dusty. You know, everything in New England is a little bit old and dusty, but you know, it's also cozy and a vibe, and I love it. I'm so glad I was able to show this to y'all. I just love everything about this place. I love being able to build businesses for my villagers to run, because I feel like it really adds to my island, because you know, we have the shop and we have the tailor, and that's about it. And when you're able to customize your villagers' houses like this and make them be business owners as well, it just adds so much more life to your island. It makes it feel like a real place where people live and eat ice cream. So yeah, if you are in the Dream of Nautilus and you happen to see Maddie's lights are on in her house, absolutely stop in and take a little picture, because this place is adorable. Thank you for having us, Maddie. Appreciate you. See you in a bit. Oh, that was so cute. But yeah, that was Maddie's ice cream shop. Absolutely adore this build. I'm totally obsessed. Here we have Bob's gas station. This is one of my other favorite builds that I've done. I'm gonna keep saying that for all of the villager houses, but that's just because I love all the villager houses. Like, I'm sorry, like I can't help it. Much like Maddie's house, this is very much based off of real life. There are a lot of gas stations in Maine, and they're pretty much the only place that you can get anything if you live in the middle of nowhere. You can get pizza there, you can get a sandwich there, you can get your groceries there. Gas station pizza in Maine is good though, because like we don't have pizza places because it's way too far. Everything is too spread out to deliver. So I imagine you could get an amazing pizza at Bob's. But over here we have the back of Maddie's ice cream shop, and you can grab yourself an ice cream if you'd like to eat an ice cream inside or outside of Maddie's shop. And you can sit here by the first big build on my island, which is my lake. There was a trend a while back of people doing lakes on their islands, and of course, because as you know, besties, I love to steal, I had to add a lake to my island that was perfect for my theme. One of my favorite parts of living in rural Maine was like going swimming in lakes with my friends, and so this is really nostalgic for me. How many times am I gonna say nostalgic in this video? I need to stop. I need to relax. But this is also the view of Beau's house. I don't think Beau is awake yet, unfortunately, but that is his little log cabin there in the woods. Once again, very on theme. But I love all of the trees sort of surrounding the lake and making it feel closed in. I just think it's a beautiful view. You can also get a higher up view of the lake from this angle, and you also can see a little build over there on the left, which we'll get to in a moment. But you can get a higher up angle, and also if you press minus when you're in camera mode and you go into the first person camera, and then you make your camera go all the way up like this, and then you click out of first person camera mode, then you'll be able to move your camera farther than normal. And there's a lot of views on my island that really benefit from that. So feel free to use that when you're taking pictures if you haven't been using that already. I know a lot of people already know that tip, but just in case you didn't, there's how you get like those really big, huge, wide angle photos in Animal Crossing. But I'm gonna climb down here really quickly. We'll get to Beau's house in a minute. I want to come back this way really quickly. If we come back this way past the gas station and the playground, we'll come to like this roadside area with this bus stop here. The bus stop is one of my favorite items from New Leaf, but make no mistake, there is zero public transportation in Maine. This is highly inaccurate. There is no bus stop, okay? There is no bus. You are not taking the bus, you are driving. But if we come over here really quickly, oh, let me jump. You can jump across here and come to this playground area. This is one of the oldest areas on my island, and this actually used to be Bob's front yard, believe it or not. We can come over here, hang out with the ducks, have a little picnic. Just a cute little area if you'd like to come explore. Over here on the left, we have another really big build that I absolutely love, and that is my lighthouse. I actually just changed this build from the way it was previously. Like last week I posted a video. It'll be the most recent video in the playlist probably when you watch it. I edited this area of my island, and I also did a painting of it, which the painting turned out kind of bad, but I think the build turned out really spectacularly. You can come stand over here to get a better view of the lighthouse. You get to see the boats in the water. This is actually based off of a real lighthouse in Maine, the Bass Harbor Headlight, which is, fun fact, the most photographed lighthouse on Earth. And it's because she's so photogenic. But I really wanted to recreate it in Animal Crossing, and I saw a lot of other people using the cave object to sort of make it look like their lighthouse was sitting on top of rocks, and I really wanted to replicate that. So I edited this build a little bit, and I think it's so cool like this. I absolutely love it. Same with this bridge. This bridge is also based off of a real life bridge near where I grew up, except the bridge was going across a marsh, and then the view was of like beautiful mountains. I do have some mountains on my island though, besties, so we'll get to that in a minute. But if you come down here across the bridge, you get to this parked car, and you're at the Mussel Beach. This is where Genji comes to work out on the beach, and this is also where you'll find your horizontal striped wetsuit, which you can use to go for a little swim. You can go for a swim over to that beach. There are other ways to get over there, which we'll see in a moment. Over here we have my peninsula. This is actually where I put my house when I first started the game. I feel like everybody with a big peninsula put their house here when they first started. But why wouldn't you? I mean, it's the dream, living right on the water. But I just wanted it to be, you know, sort of simple and cozy. And I love these little tide pools with like all the seagrass around. Over here we have my volleyball court. Another one of my favorite builds. There's a lot of jock-oriented areas on my island, which I'm now realizing, like, Genji really lucked out. And honestly, I don't know if he deserves it. But if we come back up here across the bridge, past this balloon, and come back to these steps, we can actually go up past the lighthouse and look at it from a different view. This is another area on my island that's based off of another creator's build, where they had like this road on a diagonal with like a diagonal bridge, and it was looking down at this view that was like on the first level up from the third level, and I was just obsessed with it, and I wanted to use it as inspiration for this area. So we have all of these beautiful purple hyacinths like cascading down the cliffs. We have this little area back here where you can sit and look at the water. Lots of people on bikes. There's a lot of bike paths around from where I live, like touristy bike paths. So this is sort of meant to represent that, sort of like a place you would come on a tour. Here we have like another little bus stop where you can sit. And if you come down here, I see I did a little bit of perspective with these trees. I don't know how well it works, but hopefully it gets the job done. If we come down here, we have another coastal road, sort of similar to the one at the front of the island, that just goes by the water, and I'm obsessed with this. I think it looks so cool, and I love how my villagers can, like, wander down here. But if you come over here, we have another beach, which is one of my favorites. This is the other beach that I was talking about at the beginning. This one has this huge rock with these tide pools built in. I don't have a ton of huge rocks on my island, so this is, like, a very welcome addition. We have this little fishing area over here. If you come down here, we have like a little camp that someone has set up. I love like the outdoor cooking station and the kids' tent. This beach is so skinny that it was kind of difficult to think of how to decorate it, but I feel like I did a pretty good job. If we come down this way, down these wooden planks, we have another little picnic area next to these boats on the water, these big wave breakers. And if you go across here, of course, this is where we just were at the Mussel Beach if you wanted to swim over here instead of taking the long way around. But I absolutely love this place. It's so nice to like come relax over here by the water. This area really reminds me of my Nana's house. My Nana also used to have a house in rural Maine, and she had the sketchiest, most rickety stairs you've ever seen in your life that led down to the beach from like her house on top of the hill. And this area just reminds me of that so much, like all the seagrass and the wooden planks. And, you know, we'd go down there and we'd look for seashells and sea glass and stuff like that. But yeah, that's this beach. Honestly, besties, I really love all of the beaches on my island a lot. So let me know in the comments which one is your favorite, because I don't know if I can pick, if I'm being honest. We're just gonna come back up here really quickly. come back around this way, back past Maddie's house, and over this little bridge, you can get another view of the lake. This is another really great place to do that little camera trick that I talked about earlier with moving the camera up so you can really see everything in the frame. Get a little view of Beau's house over there. And as you can see over here across this bridge, this is Butch's farm in my old people neighborhood. And Butch appears to be home actually, so I am gonna take a quick peek at his house. Oh, he's building something and he's using the crafting table that I gave to him. Let's see what he's building. Bestie, what are you making? Tater Tot, where you been? Oh, I haven't talked to him in a minute. I'm so sorry, Butch. Butch is honestly like my dad in this game. Like, he's really my dad, and I love him so much. And I really should talk to him more. I'm standing directly in a pile of leaves right now. Thank you, Butch. I really appreciate that. But yeah, this is Butch's house. Listen, once again, if you are from rural New England, you know an old man like this who lives in an incredibly messy house with all of his little trinkets and things. And that's that's what this was based on. I just wanted him to have like a little cottage where he could live his life, and I absolutely adore it. This is one of the coziest houses on the island, I think. It's super messy and super full, but I think it works for him. He has everything he needs. He has a little kitchen, a little bedroom, a little area to drink his soup. Good soup. He has a little TV area. And he has a picture of Maddie, because Maddie's like my sister, okay? Maddie's my sister, and Butch is my dad, and this is my Animal Crossing family, and you're gonna be nice to my family. Yeah, this is Butch's house. Big fan, huge fan. You can see the speed build linked below. Now let's check out the outside of his house. And here we have Butch's farm. As you can see, I did time travel back an hour because I was not about to have the 7 a.m. music. So apologies for the jarring change in lighting, but it had to be done. But anyways, as I was saying, this is Butch's farm. I, once again, mentioned earlier, I wanted my island to be playable for me, so I needed to have a place to grow veggies, and I decided to saddle Butch with that responsibility. So he is a farmer, and he has, first of all, hold on a minute. Look at this view. Like, are you joking? I can't believe that I made this. Like, who is she? Who is the girl who made this build? But he has this beautiful view of the lake on his little dock that he has here. He does have a boat, but it's currently being repaired by his little work shed over here that I made using 2 bus stops pushed together. He has all of the vegetables. He also has lots of laundry, so there's that. He has lots of overgrown weeds. I sort of just let my weeds grow wherever they wanted, and then I kind of got lucky with them, and they ended up growing in places where it made sense for there to be weeds, so I sort of just left them alone, and I really like how it looks. I like how all of the different garden plots are scattered around. This is also where he comes to fish, because Butch loves to fish. He has this little pond next to his house. I think that there's actually a pond here when I started my island, like literally, like the island came with a pond here. And as you can see, I sort of have like this fake waterfall leading into it because I wanted to be able to fish in a pond so I could get pond fish. So I didn't actually want to connect the waterfall to make it not a pond anymore. It would be a river at that point. So it's sort of just like a fake effect that I had going there. There's also a little secret path back here that leads to Beau's house, as well as a little area up there, but we're gonna explore that a little bit later. By the way, when I restarted my game, there was even more Marshall, Genji, Coco drama happening. I don't know what's going on with them. When I first started recording this, my game opened and Coco was walking by Genji in the town square and like looking him up and down, and then she went home and started working out to maybe like impress him or something. I don't know what her deal is. But then after that, Coco and Marshall ran into each other on Main Street, and Coco gave him like insane stink eye, like bombastic side eye. She was angry at him, and I don't know what they were having going on there. But then when I just reset my game right now to make it 6 a.m. again, Marshall and Genji were talking in Genji's yard. Hello? What is happening here? Something is in the water on my island this morning, because this is the third time I've opened my game this morning and had one of the three of them interacting, and what's going on? What on earth is happening? Okay, Genji's wearing his stupid hat. So, like, I don't know what's up with them this morning. Something's happening. Something's in the water, because there's drama happening, and I am unaware of it. Last time I checked, Marshall and Genji were doing great, okay? Marshall had fleas, but he and Genji were hanging out, and they were having a good time. I don't know what Coco said or did to interrupt that, but anyways. Moving on, back to the tour. This is supposed to be a tour, not a drama video. Here we have the rest of my old folks neighborhood. Over here to the right is Pecan's house. Pecan, I absolutely adore. This house is inspired by all of the fabulous little old ladies that live in like little cottages in Maine. Pecan is a piano teacher, so she has a piano in her house. Her house is so gorgeous and elegant and stylish, and I absolutely adore it, and it's one of my favorites. Between her and Coco, one of those, if I had to live on my own island, I'd probably live in one of their houses, if I'm being honest. Besides my house, of course, because my house is also very slayful. Her house is very simple, once again sort of taking after the Coco mode of decorating, which is just wheat fields. But she also has like a little place to have her tea and her breakfast, and I think that's very slay. If we come back over here, we have the final villager in my old folks neighborhood, which is Fuchsia. And Fuchsia is another girl boss on my island who owns a flower shop. Fuchsia's flower shop yard has evolved so many times, similarly to Bob's convenience store. It's changed a lot since the last time that you probably saw it in a video, but this is the current iteration, and it's a lot simpler than it used to be, but I think that it's really cute, and I really love how she's growing her own flowers. Fuchsia loves flowers. She is obsessed with flowers. It's all she talks about. She talks about them to me. She talks about them to her girlfriend Coco. So I thought it was only appropriate that she own a flower shop. And even though her house is sort of plain colors, unlike her normal house, which is very bright pink, I wanted it to blend in with the blue and the white and the gray in this neighborhood, but I also wanted it to still be her, so that's why there's all these little pops of pink everywhere to represent Fuchsia. But there's also like a road leading down this way, but we're gonna get to that in a second, because if we come down here, we will be on Main Street. There are so many like little like old-fashioned main streets in New England, and especially once again where I'm from, it's very touristy, so these places are super lively, especially in the summertime when there's people visiting. And I decided to make Nook's Cranny into sort of like a supermarket, so that's why we have like the little cart return over there and all of the veggies around and the veggie delivery truck in the back, and you can come sit on this bench. And of course this leads directly to my town square where we started, and Marshall is working out. Did Genji tell you to do this? Why are you doing this? The other day I walked into both of their houses at the same time, and Genji was cooking and Marshall was working out. So I feel like, I don't know, that's kind of cute, right? Like they're trying each other's hobbies. That's really adorable. And I'm happy for them, and I hope Coco isn't messing with that. But anyways, moving on. If we come back this way, we also have the Able sisters. I wanted to have the businesses close together for when I'm playing, so I can like run back and forth between them, and that's also why I have my ABD machine tucked back here, as well as a trash can and other really useful things. We have the Able sisters, which are sort of fashioned after a thrift store with the little sale outside. And then of course down here, there's like a little path that we have, which leads down to the road at the bottom of the island, but we're gonna go check out up here first. We're gonna come over this bridge. I recently replaced this bridge. It used to be a different bridge, and it was one of the first bridges I ever built in my island, and I was very sad when I deleted it, but I'm much happier with this bridge now. So if we come across it, we'll see a little sign leading to the forest. And you'll also see these big cave objects on this hill, making it sort of look like a mountain. And if you come up this way, past these windmills, up here, there's like a bike on the road. We have this diagonal road leading up. There's more trees covering this mountain area over here. We'll find this car parked outside and a little sign leading into the forest. Now this is actually, once again, based off of a real life parking lot outside of a hiking trail in rural Maine that I have hiked many times. It's kind of an intermediate trail, and maybe that is a perfect way to describe this build. It's kind of an intermediate build because of the lag. It's going to take a little bit of work to get through it, but we're going to get through it together, besties. Let's come up here really quickly and enter my gyroid forest. This build is one of my absolute favorites on my island. It connects back to Coco. I mentioned earlier how she's a ceramicist, and she also makes gyroids, and so she comes here to the forest to look for gyroid fragments, and there are gyroids all over the place. I also sort of based it off of Princess Mononoke, and I mentioned that in the video where I built it originally. But this first view over here, if you come back here, besties, I mean, come on, like, who is she? Like, when did I build this? Like, this, I don't know if this is my favorite view of my island, because there's one more view that, like, really takes my breath away when I look at it. But this is the type of build where after all of the frustration and all of the fixing things and fidgeting with things and everything not being in the right place, all of that just like melts away, and I'm like, oh my god, I love my island. I'm obsessed with my island. I just love this. I love this so much. And I love all of the gyroids. Like, I don't even know how many gyroids are in this view. If you can count all of them, let me know in the comments. But I love this view so much. I don't know what else to say, besties. I don't need to toot my own horn or anything on my own island tour, but like, I'm obsessed with this. This is so fun. This is another build that was based off of another creator's view that they had. They had like this little platform here, and they had a view, and it was all trees. It was all trees, and it was so like thick, and they'd use this tree glitch over and over again to make it like as thick and foresty as possible. So I took that and I sort of transformed it into this mountain using the cave and the volcano object. I think it's really stunning and gorgeous. I'm obsessed. But I mentioned before how I am not quite sure if that is my favorite view on my island, because if we come up here, besties, if we come up this little ladder here, past this friendly gyroid, and we jump across this water, and we sneak past this bush, and we come up here and jump over this log, we will come to my campsite. I am obsessed with this build. Like, this is the cause for so much lag on my island. There are over 200 wheat fields here in this build, and that was like back when I first built it, so there's a high likelihood that there's more now. But this view is just so like, oh, I love it. I'm obsessed with it. And if you point the camera up, you can see the whole thing, and you can like see the ocean in the background, and like the waterfall and the cascading flowers coming down into the wheat. And it just reminds me of like huge fields of seagrass and like marshland that were like pushed up against the ocean. There is a campsite near the house that I grew up in that I used to go to all the time to like go to the beach, and there was like a restaurant there where you could get popovers, which is like a main thing, I guess. Actually, let me know if there are popovers where you come from, and I'm just saying anything right now. But I know that there are popovers where I come from, and we would go and we would eat them for breakfast, and it was incredible, and the view was stunning, and this is sort of meant to represent that. And I'm just obsessed. It's just so beautiful. It's worth it for me. I can't not have this build on my island. I thought about replacing the wheat fields with hyacinths, and I might still do that in the future. But for now, I hope you enjoy this gorgeous view as much as I do. But we're actually going to head back into the forest really quickly. As you can see, there's some ladders down here if you want to go explore the campsite yourself. And there's also a road leading up to the campsite. But for now, we're just gonna head back this way. As you can see, I mentioned the lag. There's a lot of popping in and out going on, but that's okay because it's worth it, like I said. You can come into the forest. This is sort of the path that Coco takes when she's exploring. Come back here. I tried to make it sort of as thick and forested and remote as I possibly could, but of course Butch's farm is right there, so we can only do so much, besties. If we come back up this way, you'll find another little treasure for you to pick up. You have an ocarina here, and if you come up this way, this ladder, you will find Coco's little gyroid spot. This is where she comes. There's a gyroid actually buried down here, and she comes up here to collect gyroid fragments and play the ocarina with them. I don't know why they play the ocarina. I guess because it's made of clay. That's why I picked that. Anyways, You get a sort of second view. I love having those little trees down there and like the perspective they give to the build. And of course we have this little waterfall. It's sort of, once again, meant to look like it goes into that area over there. Speaking of going down here, let's go explore this way a little bit before we head back around to the campsite. We have this view of my secret beach. Right now, red is docked here. Once again, I might update my dream address again. It'll be the same, but it'll just be like on a different day with different weather, because that does irritate me a little bit, because my secret beach is meant to be like a beach. Like, you're meant to go hang out there, and red is really not the vibe. This is supposed to be a beautiful view, and his stinky boat is stinking up my island. I really wanted to have like a bridge looking over like an area below it. And if you come down here with this little ladder, you will have a little picnic. And we have this radio here. We have some muffins. And we have, of course, this beach. You could take your shoes off and go swimming, or you can go buy a fake painting if that's what you want. It's up to you, besties. If we come back around here, of course you can go the way from Butch's house if you go back up that ladder and then back down. If you come back around here, you'll find another picnic, and this is a Beau's house. No, I scared them away! Oh, I'm so sad, besties. I scared them away. I'm so mean. Anyways, as I was saying, this is Beau's yard. Those ants are supposed to be there on purpose, but I scared them away and I feel like a bad person. This is Beau's yard. He has another gorgeous, beautiful view of the ocean. I love the view of the ocean from the back of the island. I'm so glad that I have these like viewpoints to see it. Beau's house is another Ghibli-inspired build. His house is based off of the artist cabin from Kiki's Delivery Service. I forget her name, but girl, you have a very cozy and slayful house, and I wanted to give that to Beau, so he has that in there. Maybe he and Red are in cahoots. Maybe they are working together on making some fakes. Maybe I should investigate that. Beau, I love Beau a lot. Maybe I shouldn't trust him so easily. Let's head back the way we came. Actually, let's go this way. Why not? We're here, might as well. As I mentioned previously, this is right near Butch's house, and if we come up this way, we'll be back where we just were, and then we can come down this way into the gyroid forest and back out the other side and jump over this little river into the campsite, into Lag City. We have these little these little kids tents over by the water, this little place where you can roast marshmallows. I love this view so much. I love this whole area so much. You can come back down here, there's a little bike, someone is sitting in the grass reading. Besties, when I was like a little kid, one of the houses that I lived in was down the road from like a wild blueberry field where like wild blueberries grow. And my younger sibling and I used to walk down there together and just like pick blueberries and eat them, and it was incredible. But then somebody bought the property and closed it off, which is very rude. If we come over here, after that, another nostalgia trip for me, if we come over here, we're at my campsite, the campsite proper with the actual tent and everything. We have a little outdoor area where you can sleep. We have a little Nintendo Switch here, so you can game. Someone has parked their car to go camping. We have another lovely beach. This one has more wave breakers, more places to roast marshmallows. Over here we have a stargazing area. You can come. I like to come here when there is shooting stars and pretend that I'm like camping out here looking for shooting stars. And if we come inside here really quickly, we will find... Oh, it's you. Okay. Well, anyways, that is my campsite area. Absolutely adore this area. It's super laggy, but I love it. If we come down here, there is another super long road. I love doing roads like this. I just think it's so fun, and it's so fun to like run up and down them. We have the super long road leading up to the campsite. We also have another beach here, just some more beach chairs and some toys, and another little picnic over here. We also have a little log over here, and someone has dragged their boat up to the water. And of course, we are back at the entrance to the gyroid forest from earlier. So we are going to walk back down the way we came, just doing a little bit more backtracking. Come back across this bridge. back through the main street area, and we're gonna cross the street over here, and we're gonna come down through this tiny little forest. I built this tiny little forest to separate the main street from the road, to make the road feel more rural. And if we come down here, oh, I can't cross the street. I have to wait. Hold on a minute, besties. Okay, now we can cross. If we come across here, we'll come to another beach. Who would have thought? We are actually right next to my airport right now. And this is another one of the oldest builds on my island. This beach has been around here for a hot minute. You can come get a little bit of boba, and you can sit and you can have some grapes. This beach is actually really inspired by some of the beaches near where I grew up that weren't like swimming beaches, because water in coastal Maine is very cold. So swimming at the beach is not always the most fun, but a lot of times you just come to the beach and like sit on the sand with your friends and have a picnic and like hang out. And this is sort of meant to represent that. We have a little ukulele. If there's one thing that I wish I had more of on my island though, it's definitely horseshoe crabs. Like, I love these little guys. They're so cute. If we come up here though, along the coastal road that I mentioned earlier, it goes all the way across the front of my island. If we come across this bridge here, now we're at the final area of my island. My house over here in the hyacinth field. I absolutely adore this build. It took me forever to duplicate all of the purple and blue hyacinths on my island that I needed to make this area work, but I am so pleased with the outcome. I think it looks so beautiful, and I'm just obsessed. I'm obsessed with like the white picket fence. I'm obsessed with the way that the road sort of tapers off and ends. I'm obsessed with having my mailbox down by the road and having like a long driveway. This so much reminds me of the house that I grew up in. And we're gonna take a brief detour before we go inside to check out this beach. This beach was actually the final build that I did on Nautilus, and there's going to be a speed build going up of this area after this video goes up. So if you're watching this the day that it goes up, you're gonna have to wait a couple of days. But that video, I'm probably gonna talk a lot about just the overall process of building Nautilus. So, you know, if that interests you, be on the lookout for that, besties. That'll be coming in the next couple of days. That'll be probably the next video that comes out. But this is my private beach. It's not really private. I want it to be a place where people can come and hang out. So there's like blankets here, and there's like a little area. I really wanted to have this thing. I love that thing. A little place to roast marshmallows. There's a little area like for little kids over here with these little pinwheels. And I decided to use hyacinths on this beach instead of wheat fields. One, because my island has enough wheat fields already, and two, because I really like the idea of the flowers like cascading down onto the beach. I think that's really beautiful. This little area has been here forever, and this is sort of just like where I would come sit if this were my real beachside house that I lived in. I would come sit on the beach and eat chips and read a book. Of course, we have my dock here. Super duper simple because, once again, I want my island to be playable, and I love to fish. So I need this area open for fishing. Actually, you know what? Let's catch this fish right now, besties. Why not? Oh my god. Imagine if I missed that. Oh. It's an olive flounder. Well. Oh. Just my luck, honestly. Anyways, now that we're done with that, we can come up here. Up my front yard. There's so many crickets this morning. Look at that. But this is my driveway, and this is my house. Very cute, very slayful. The one veggie that Butch does not grow are carrots, and we have some carrots here, and we have a bunny rabbit here. But here we have another little area where I can come sit, and of course this is the area that we saw earlier that leads up to my gyroid forest. Over here we have my workbench area. Once again, my island needs to be functional, so I need a place where I can craft things. Many of the objects that you see on this island were crafted at this very bench. If we go over here to the right side of my house, we have like a little laundry area. That's my boat. I do not know how to sail in real life. I have been sailing and I was okay at it, but don't ask me to drive a boat. I have friends who are amazing at sailing, but it's not me. Over here we have another little fishing area. I wanted this beach to be a lot more minimalist than my other beaches, just so it's easier for me to like run around and look for fish that are spawning. And now I think it is about time that we explored the inside of my house. So let's go on in. And here we are, besties, in my kitchen. Much like many of the other builds on this island, this house is meant to represent the house that I grew up in. So super nostalgic for me. I adore this cozy kitchen. I love having a kitchen as the first room of my house just because of how useful it is. You know, you can like cook, you can change your outfit in the fridge, just like in real life. So I just have all the things that I need here. We have the piano right here, as well as some gyroids that I got from Coco, obviously. We have lots of art. My grandma did actually have a print of a Vermeer in her kitchen. It wasn't Girl with the Pearl Earring. It was the Milkmaid, I think. Do I have that in this room? I don't think that I do. I might have it somewhere else in my house, but yeah, we just have lots of art around. I love all of the wood accents. I absolutely adore this like not wood wall. We have the wood burning stove and the little dog sitting by it. We have my bike. My little kitchen here with all of the fish decorations. There's lots of fish in this room. We have fish on the walls, fish on the lunchbox over here, fish on the toaster. There's fish everywhere. I love all of the blues and greens. This house is very blue and green, so get used to that now, besties, because you're going to be seeing a lot of it. But if we come up here to the top of my house, we have my cozy living room slash sunroom with a beautiful view of the ocean. I adored this room. I love the cozy vibes, and I love having a living room in the back of my house. I just think it's really nice and cozy and quiet. So we have the Moroccan couch, which I love. We have the vintage couch. We have all of this like wooden furniture, and I love the dim lighting. And we have this pet bird in the corner, as well as this little wooden bird on the ceiling, which actually we did have one of these at my grandma's house. It wasn't a seagull though. It was a much more exciting bird, but I thought that the seagull looked really cute. And yeah, this is my living room. I have I didn't mean to turn the fan off. There are a lot of sunrooms like this in coastal Maine. You know, sit by the ocean, look at the ocean, enjoy the vibes and the smells and everything. Now, if we come back to the kitchen and then we go to the left over here, we have my bathroom slash storage room, I guess, or maybe like a workshop area, an indoor workshop. This bathroom, she's seen better days. She's a little bit grimy, but once again, this house isn't meant to be perfect, Bess. This is meant to be nostalgic and it's a little run down, but it's very cozy and homey. And that's the way that it is meant to be. But we have everything you need in here. We have the laundry over here. We have, once again, this little storage area that I've gotten myself stuck in. I love this little VCR so much. I put it in so many rooms at this house. We have the actual bathroom area itself tucked away in the corner. We have my hard-earned museum posters up on the wall over there, as well as the sink and the mirror, and we have a little rubber ducky. And, of course, we have this big, huge bathtub. And, of course, if we come down here, we have my little friend taking a bath. Now, instead of heading to the right, I think we're going to head downstairs first to my basement, which is actually very similar to the last room that we looked at. This room is sort of meant to be like the actual basement of the resident representative of the island. So like it has all of these like Nook Miles items, like the vending machine and all of this stuff that like I would hypothetically place outside, as well as just like storage for my own items, lots of boxes and things. It's a real basement down here. This build is another one of the oldest builds on my island. If you go back on my channel and watch this, the speed build of this is literally like 2 years old. And I haven't really changed it that much since then. There's also like this little area where I'm doing some gardening down here. Besides the froggy chair and the sloppy rug, I don't think there's anything different about this room from the last time they all saw it. So yeah, one of the oldest builds on my island, but I just love it so much that I didn't feel the need to change it. So there you go. Now, if we come upstairs, we have my bedroom, which has just the most beautiful view of the ocean. This right side of the room is sort of the actual like sleeping area. So we have my dresser and my clothes and my picture of Beau. Beau and I we're not an item, okay? We're an item in The Sims, because I do a Let's Play on this channel where I took all of these villagers from my island and I put them in The Sims 4, and it's extremely chaotic, and I did cheat on my husband with Beau, and that was a whole mess. But I do have his photo in here. I think that he really fits the vibe of this space. Besides that, we have some books, we have another Nintendo Switch, some more gyroids dancing. We have my alarm clock, my picture of my dad, obviously, above my bed, very important. This bed is one of the best items in the game. Like, don't deny, this bed is just so perfect. And honestly, this quilt is really similar to a lot of the quilts that I had on my bed at my grandma's house in real life. But if we come over here past the wood stove, gotta have the wood stove, besties, gotta keep it warm in here. We have sort of like the hangout area. So we have my gaming space with my gaming chair, which I don't actually have a gaming chair in real life. I just have a regular chair. We have my computer, and we have this little stargazing area out the window. I thought about changing this wallpaper to be maybe like mountains or maybe like stars or something, but I just kept it as the ocean for now. So if that changes in the future, that's why, because I was thinking about changing it. We have a little makeup station. We also have a little area where I can sit and eat and play games on my Animal Crossing Switch, which is actually what I'm using to play the game right now. We have lots of plants. We have lots of blue and green. This room is very me, besties. This room is extremely me, and I'm really pleased with it, and I hope that you enjoy it as well. Now, that is not the last room in my house, however. We have one more room to go explore downstairs. And it's actually a room that y'all have never seen before. So if we come over this way to the right, past the piano, we will find the bestie guest room for the besties. This room is my gift to you, the besties. Whether this is the first video of mine that you've seen, or the 100th video of mine that you've seen, whether you've been subscribed for 2 years or 2 minutes, this room is my tribute to you. This is where you can come and stay when you visit me on Nautilus. It has the same color scheme as the rest of the house, obviously the blue and green. It also has this little baby corner because I found out recently that you can put things inside of the baby crib, and I really wanted to put a gyroid in the baby crib and have him be like a baby. So if you have a baby, your baby can also come visit Nautilus. But I just wanted to make a cozy little guest room viewing the ocean. You could come hang out in and enjoy Nautilus and spend time here. Like I said, this room is a gift to all of you, and I just want to thank you all so much for watching this tour and watching all of my videos and watching this island come together. It has been so fun being on this journey with all of you over the past couple of years. It's been a rocky journey, because I have the worst luck on planet Earth. For those of you who are unaware, I live in a cartoon world, and cartoon things happen to me constantly, and they're constantly stopping me from making videos, including this video, actually. I intended to post this video a couple of days before the day that it's going up, and then I went back and I watched the footage of my previous island tour, the one where Marshall got the fleas and like all that was happening, and the audio was completely corrupted, and like I spent hours and hours trying to fix it. I had other people trying to help me fix it, and it was no luck, and I was just so upset because I was so excited to share Nautilus with y'all, and then I had to wait a couple of more days and like refilm everything, and it was a very stressful time, and I appreciate your patience. That's the point that I wanted to make with that story, is that I appreciate your patience that you've had with me over the past couple of years. Once again, whether you've been here since the beginning or you just got here today, I appreciate your patience with me and your kindness towards me and all of the wonderful messages that I get, all of the comments, all of the chats in stream. I just did an insane stream this weekend where I streamed Happy Home Paradise for 16 hours. We did 6 hours on the first day and 9 hours on the second day. I literally went to bed at 2 a.m. We finished Happy Home Paradise in 2 sittings, and y'all donated to like mess with my builds, and it was so much fun, and y'all supported me so much more than I ever could have imagined. You raised so much money to help me make back some of the income that I lost over the past couple of months not being able to post videos, and I'm so grateful for every single one of you. I'm so serious. Like, I'll stop being corny in a minute, I promise. But like, I just want to thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you all so much, and I'm so appreciative of having you here, and I'm so glad to have you here, and I'm so happy to be able to share this island with you, and I'm really excited for what's coming next. Nautilus is in its 1.0 version, okay? There are things about it that I might want to change, and there are things about it that I don't want to change. So this is not the last that you'll see of Nautilus. I might also do some gameplay videos on Nautilus, like doing the festivals and the events and everything, and just talking to my villagers, keeping up with them because I love them so much and I'm so attached to them. So this is not the last that you'll see of this island. Trust me, besties. Nautilus isn't going anywhere. However, of course, I have my second island that I'm working on, which is a completely different theme from this one. It is based off of Evangelion, and it's like a post-apocalyptic city, overgrown, city core type island, and I'm super excited to start doing builds on that. So this is sort of like the end of this era and the beginning of that next era, and I'm really excited to share all of that with you. Feel free to come by the Dream of Nautilus whenever you feel. It'll be here for you whenever you need it. If you want to come roam around, talk to my villagers, do a little fishing, do a little swimming, and just hang out, have a good time. It's here for you. Just like my videos, just like this video, whenever you need it. So I hope you all enjoyed this little adventure exploring Nautilus. I hope you all enjoyed your trip to Nautilus if you toured along with me with the Dream Address. And I am so excited for what's to come for the channel. So, like I said before, there will be one more speed build of Nautilus that's going to go up in the next couple of days, and that is going to be me decorating the last beach on my island. So be on the lookout for that. Other than that, I guess, you know, like I said earlier, if any of the builds in this video caught your attention and you want to see more about them, you want to see how I built them, you can check out the links in the description. There's a whole playlist called Building Nautilus or something like that you can check out, where you have all of that available. Make sure to check out the live streams. Like I said, we're working on a new island right now, and we're villager hunting, and that's going really well. We have most of the villagers now for Tokyo 3, and I'm also going to start posting builds of Tokyo 3 soon, which is really exciting. You can check out my socials, Instagram, Discord, also linked in the description. Please, once again, I would love to see pictures of y'all on Nautilus if you decide to explore it. So tag me in those, post them on Discord. I would love to see that. If you liked this video, make sure to leave a like. It really helps me out. If you really liked the video, you can leave a comment letting me know. Once again, you can subscribe and hit the bell, set it to all notifications if you want to be notified every time that I post or go live over here on YouTube. Check out other videos of Nautilus, have fun exploring, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye, besties. Oh, that was so bittersweet. Oh my god. I have to get out of here.